Good morning, everyone. So we will be starting in a short while. So good morning, everyone. This side Madhvi, and it is my great honor to welcome you all to the second day of RTAAAS conference, Recent Trends of Agriculture, Horticulture, Livestock and Life Sciences, which is organized by Shri Guru Ram Rai University, Dehradun, Just Agriculture and SABSR. So, firstly, I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude and welcome all of our esteemed guests who are experts in their respective fields and have generously agreed to share their knowledge, experiences with us. So, we are incredibly fortunate to have such a diverse group of professionals who are dedicated to pushing the boundaries of agriculture research and practice. Your contributions are the backbone of this conference, and we thank you for your commitment. So, I would like to thank all the participants who are the part of this conference. As we embark on this exciting journey together, I hope this conference inspires all of you to think creatively, challenge assumptions, and build lasting networks that will help us continue advancing the field of agriculture in meaningful ways. It is an honor to all the organizers that agriculture professionals from one more than 7 countries and 25 states of India are joining together to this Uttarakhand Agriculture largest conference. So, with 7 participants representing a diverse range of expertise, we have come together to foster collaborations and push the boundaries of knowledge. The conference featured an impressive 249 oral sessions where our scholars and scientists shared their cutting edge research along with 50 plus poster sessions that showcase innovative ideas from our bright master's degree students and early career research. Moreover, our 5 keynote sessions from different countries and 6 lead sessions brought invaluable insights from leading experts, each contributing to the broader discourse on the key challenges and opportunities in our field. The range of topics covered has been truly inspiring, highlighting the depth of research and the commitment from every one of you. So it is worth noting that we have received over 310 abstracts, which stands as a testament to the immense interest and dedication to advancing our field. And to all our participants, whether you are joining as a speaker, presenter, or attendee, thank you for being a part of this important dialogue. Your curiosity, passion, and dedication to transforming agriculture is what drives the progress we need. Once again, welcome to the RTAAAS. Let's make this truly impactful and transformative event for everyone involved. So, further taking much more time of yours, now I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. M. Madhu, Director, ICAR Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation, Dehradun. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Madhavi, for excellent briefing about this conference and also inviting us to make a brief note on this occasion. Distinguished guest, I'm audible? Distinguished guest and expertise, and it is my pleasure and honor to make some of the point during the 8th International Conference on Recent Trend in Advancement in Agriculture, Horticulture, Livestock and Allied Sector, which is being organized by Sri Guru Ram Rai University, Dehradun, associated with USCST Dehradun, SCABSR Society, Just Agriculture Education Group. Yes, we know that agriculture. Can you share? I want to share my presentation. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Dear friends, as we know that the agriculture, if you see this terrain, then normally it includes the land comprising of both the vegetation, the soil, the water, and also the community and and also the livestock. Yes, we know that with respect to the Indian continent, if you compare the agriculture way back, nearly 70 years back, and then now, with respect to the food grain production, we have achieved more than 6 times. That means at the present situation, we are producing more than 330 million tons of food grains. With respect to the pulses is concerned, our achievement is much more, 3.3 times. And in most of the commodities, even in the horticulture, it goes to more than 14 times. And we know that with respect to the egg, goes nearly 130 times. This denotes the achievement of green revolution in each and every field, allied sector of agriculture, bring not only the self-sufficiency, feeding to 1.4 billion population, we are in also position to export these commodities at the global level. That means to say that the agriculture, yes and now, no more is a subsistence farming. It is a commercial and economically viable enterprises where the earlier it was about the 70 to 75% of the population that depends upon agriculture. But this percentage has been reduced to around 50%. That means to say that about 20 to 25% of the population they shifted to the other enterprises. That is one part. We know that as a country with a huge population, we used to import and beg the food from other countries. We are happy to note that the midday meals it is being provided at the schools. It is a product and actually it is a grain it is produced at the Indian soil. It is not a foreign soil. Whether we are getting rice, whether we are getting chapati or egg or whatsoever, it is from the Indian soil. It is a committed, the effort from the Indian farming community. They added to that all the stakeholders, including the departments, the governments, either state or central government, and the ministries, the policy makers, and so on. Those who are involved directly and indirectly to the agriculture. But the challenging factor is that, particularly with respect to the soil is concerned, the degradation is focusing a major challenges. If you take at the global level, the land degradation, as such, it accounts about the nearly 2 billion hectare. It is 15% of the total geography of the globe. And the water erosion is the prominent one. And the sediment contribution due to the erosion process is to the extent of 25 billion tons. It is a huge amount. And the loss of production in terms of water erosion, it is by 9%. Annually, we are losing the 9% of the food production due to the water erosion. The same thing if you talk about the India, we are losing about the 13, nearly 16% of the total food grain production annually we are losing. It is accounting about 292 billion rupees we are losing every year. And India also the prominent with the water erosion problem, and it is causing the siltation of the major reservoirs. That means to say that the more than 300 rivers are polluted as of now. They are unfit to become a potable water for the even it is not fit for drinking purpose. As per the new estimate made by the ISRO, it is the degraded state is about 97.85 the million hectare as per the remote sensing assessment. This is a challenging factor to us. That means to say that it is a God-given gift to us. We need to maintain our soil, the land, and other natural resources for the future generation. My dear friends, suppose if you see this one, this is the graphical representation of the distribution of soil lifespan across the world. That means to say that as a living entity, we should also consider soil is a living entity because for agriculture without soil you cannot do much thing because the nearly 94 to 95% of the food come from the soil that we to respect it since it is a living entity. Once it is a living entity means it is also required a certain amount of degree of respect in terms of maintaining its health and nutritional status. Those microorganisms or living organisms which are present in the soil. That means to say that the nearly 34% of the bare soil had a lifespan of less than 100 years. Where the problem of degradation is there, at the global level, it is assessed that based on the different studies conducted at the global level. That means to say that the 100 years, that means to say that it is a one generation, nearly it is one generation. Suppose conventionally managed, nearly it accounts about 18%. Again, it is contribute about greater than 10,000 years. And well-managed soil, that definitely it will be contributing to the lifespan of more than 100 years. That means to say that it indicates that the well-managed, well-protected soil is having much more lifespan as compared to the unmanaged, unprotected soil. This indicates that we need to protect the topsoil for the future prosperity and posterity. My dear friend, these are the some of the agents which are the influencing factors for the land degradation, loss of vegetation cover, and the landscape disturbance due to the various reasons, the unscientific land use practices, and socio-economic problems. With respect to the socio-economic problem is concerned, that we are having more than 80 to 85% of the farming community are the small and marginal. Their land is much more fragmented. Suppose even if you take Uttarakhand, the average land holding size is less than 1 acre. It is about zero point 0.4 hectare. And this is distributed in 2 or 3 parcels. That means to say that the agriculture, it has become a challenge in a piecemeal approach because increased cost of production and it is not a viable proportion. That's why sometimes the people, they started moving out of the agriculture to the other sectors. And thus, the number of fallow lands are the year after year, it is increasing, and the movement of migration of people from the agriculture to the other sector, it is increasing. These are the impacts of different because of degradation that I will not going to discuss. My dear friends, if you see this figure, the annual loss due to this process, they estimated by various agencies, is that it is a huge amount of, in terms of either in terms of production or in terms of the monetary term, we are losing a huge amount of in terms of monetary due to the land degradation process. As per the estimate, then at the global level, about the nearly 11 billions of dollar we are losing annually. But this is the estimate by the various agency at a different period of time for the degradation process. As per the new estimate is concerned, at the Indian continent, we are losing about 2.5% of the total GDP we are losing due to the land degradation process or ill management process. And the simultaneously at the global level, it accounts about the nearly 17% of the total GDP of the globe. We are losing due to the degradation problem. Where is the degradation problem? The degradation problem is much more in the forest area, the followed by the degradation due to the change in land uses and the agriculture and the siltation problem, what I was mentioning, and particularly and also in the rangeland. The cost of productivity loss in agriculture is accounted by the more than 37% due to the water erosion, the followed by the salinity, sodic soils and alkalinity soil, and the wind erosion and other the problems like shifting cultivation, mining area, and other issues. That means to say that it indicates we are not only losing a huge amount of food production, we are also losing in terms of the monetary return. One of the estimates is say that if we are not taking care of soil today, what will be the action and inaction? That means to say that if we do not spend rupees 1 today, then we may lose rupees nearly 1 rupee 80 paise if we are not taking if we are taking action. But if we are not taking action, the cost would be instead of 1 rupee 80 paise, we supposed to spend about 2.45 rupees. That means to say that the right time and right time measures of the conservation technological interventions are required to safeguard the ecosystem services. We know that actually the soil is a living entity. The everything is coming from the soil. As I mentioned earlier, nearly 94% it is coming, food it is coming from the soil. That means to say that whatever it is produced from the soil means if it should be a nutritional status. That means to say that we are losing nearly 228 million tons of food production that it can be fed on new undernourished population to the extent of nearly 15-16% of the population we can feed it. The major cause, yes, the present situation is that the climate change phenomena, as we know that the increasing the temperature level, the because of that, the so many things it is happening. As per the estimate, as per the study, it shows that the 10% increase in the rainfall amount, it may increase 10% increase in the rainfall intensity. When the rainfall is increases, 1% increase in the rainfall intensity will increase the rainfall erosibility by 2%. That means to say that it likely to increase the land degradation in future to come. We know that the cloud burst and other disasters are most common nowadays. The unseasonal rainfall, unseasonal droughts are most common due to the climate-induced phenomena. We know that the restoration of, as per the land degradation neutrality, the government of India, it is committed that the nearly 26 million hectare to be the restored by 2030. In order to mitigate the climate change impact, the restoration of this degraded land is much more essential, for which the government of India it is taking all-out effort under convergence program of the ongoing flagship program by the government of India. These are the some of the priority states where the degradation problems are, and the mainland, the Karnataka, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh. These are the some of the dominant priority states, one where the degradation problems are much more we need to conserve. Then actually I worked out cost of action of land degradation. What will be the cost of action? The yearly land under land degradation neutrality, we have to treat about 0.23 as per the land degradation target 0.23 million hectares and the additional target committed by the government of India 1.73 put together annually we have to reclaim nearly 2 million hectares. As per the present cost, it work out nearly 15,000 crores of rupees. But if you talk about 15,000 of rupees, where it can be meet out, it is only a less than 1% of total GDP we can we have to invest in order to achieve the land degradation neutrality with the average treatment cost of 75,000 per hectare. We know that we are providing the fertilizer subsidy, power subsidy. Even with that also, even if you nearly 18% or 13%, suppose if you cut down from these subsidy factors, these soils can be restored for the productive purposes. Let us talk about the impact is concerned. These are the some of the conservation technology. There should be an increase in yield even up to 75%, and the soil loss reduction to the 29 to 93%, runoff reduction to the extent of 76%, that is contributing to the in situ moisture conservation and also the groundwater research. The income enhancement we have observed even up to 28,000. These are the conservation technologies are normally recommended both under watershed management program and many other the soil health improvement programs and other thing so that the department are implementing for the restoration of degraded lands. What will happen? This is the ecosystem services. We know that the ecosystem services, we have regulatory ecosystem services, the recreational ecosystem services, supporting and provisional ecosystem services. If we are taking care of soil, these ecosystem services will increase, otherwise it tend to decrease. Our request is that it is the responsibility of each and everyone to take care of these natural resources for the future generation. This is the potential area of some of the states where they can go for agroforestry system so that the, the farmers also get benefited from the agroforestry system like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka. And these are the some of the state. There is a greater potential of utilization of already existing agriculture land put under agroforestry system. As per the present situation is concerned, the government of India, a total treatable area of 205 million hectare is the total treatable area available for treatment. Out of that, 50% is already treated, the remaining 50% to be treated. This is the impact it is showing at the national level from the various already implemented watershed management program. We know that there is a reasonable increase in the employment generation and the potential irrigated area also increase, the groundwater table also increase, and which has enhanced the income of the rural population due to the productivity enhancement. This is one of the case study we did it at Day-2, where the spring shed management, everybody they know that these spring shed water it is tapped it and we have provided the irrigation to the community. It has increased the nut irrigated area significantly, and some of the farmers they were migrated and they came back. Reverse migration is occurred, and nearly 17 family in that village they have reverse migration they have taken up. That means to say that earlier They used to work in towns and cities. They came back and they have started doing the agriculture. And this is the most important one, the stage of progression. The technology transfer is constant. We classify that our technology and the farmer is subsistence smallholder, semi-commercial smallholder, and commercial smallholder, and progressive farmer. That means to say that each category we need to have a identified technological intervention need to be transferred so that the adoption of this technology is much more important, so that the whatever the State Department or Government of India or many agencies they are implementing and the contributing to the agriculture development, they should also see look into their the category of the farmers, the so that accordingly the technology need to be transferred. With this, I thanks once again the organizer for giving an opportunity to share some of my points with related to the soil and also related to the impact of watershed management program and other associate thing. I conclude my topic like this. It is a quote by the great, our father of the nation. Whatever the natural resources which we have at the global level or regional level or country level, it is not a inherited properties. It is a natural properties. It is a loan taken from our the future children's. That means to say that it is it is our role and responsibility to hand over these the natural resources to the next generation better than what it is existing now. My dear friends, रोटी कपड़ा ये मिट्टी का वरदान है. सब लोग मिलके हम लोग उसका संरक्षण करेंगे, हमारा देश को महान बना देंगे. धन्यवाद. Thank you very much.
Sir, on the behalf of everyone, I just want to say a big thank you for sharing your insightful address. And we truly appreciate the valuable perspectives you have shared with us today, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Madhurji. Okay. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Okay, so recent trends in agriculture are revolutioning the way we produce food. Precision farming, driven by AI and data analytics, is enhancing efficiency and sustainability. Biotechnology and gene editing are creating resistant crops, while urban and vertical farming offer innovative solutions for food security. These advancements are reshaping agriculture for sustainable future. So now I would like to invite our next esteemed guest, Dr. Shalini Suri, Professor and Director, Head Division of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, RS Pura, Scotts, Jammu. So I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Madhvi. Good morning, everyone. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I can share my screen right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Respected uh, guests and delegates. I'm very thankful to the organizer for providing me the opportunity to speak on this topic. I have seen that many speakers they have
Sorry
taken
to
the topic.
interrupt you, ma'am.
Is there any problem?
Yes, ma'am. Your slideshow is not visible. Half screen is visible only.
Okay.
Please put on a PowerPoint mode or slideshow mode.
Some problem. Now it is clear? Is it clear?
Shared yet.
Is it clear, ma'am?
No, ma'am, we can't see your screen. It is not visible.
Okay.
Ma'am, if it's not working, you can share your PPT with us. We will share the screen by our side.
On which mail I can send it to you?
TV.justagree.
Just hold on. Ma'am, I have shared my PPT.
1 second, I'll check, and then we will put it on the screen.
Yes, it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am, you can start now.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm very thankful to the organizer. They have provided me the occasion or the opportunity to speak on the topic, that is the recent trends in the veterinary and the animal sciences and the job avenues. The livestock sector is one of the fastest growing economic sector in the low and the middle income countries. Actually, the livestock support over 1.3 billion people in the world, and this sector is contributing about the 40% of the world's total GDP in the developing countries, ranging between 15 to 80%. And livestock sector is an important subsector of the agriculture in the Indian economy also. It contributes around about 5.73%, and it grows at the level of CAGR of 7.93% during the recent decades. The contribution of livestock in the total agriculture and allied sector has been increased from 24% to the 30% in the recent years. And the livestock sector, it contributes about 4.9% of the total GVA in 2021. India has a very vast resource of the livestock and the poultry, which plays vital role in improving the socio-economic condition of the rural masses. And India is blessed with 303 million population of the bovines, 74 million of the sheep, and 148 million of goats, and 851 millions of the poultry, according to the 20th livestock census in the country. At the same time, the companion animals population is also growing from the last 10 decades, from 10 million to the 35 million, which contributes 33.6 million dogs and 2.44 millions of the cats. Because these, during the current situation, in the urban areas, the people are more fond of keeping these companion animals, and they are, because they take care of the stress level and they also tackle the loneliness condition of the population. So the well-being of these livestock and the companion animal is a big question, and any deviation from the normal phenomena, that is the disease. If the disease or any ailment, it is diagnosed at the very early stage, then these livestock as well as the companion animals, they will perform to their best. So technology is pushing the bounds of the veterinary sciences to the new limits, and veterinary and the animal sciences field is undergoing a rapid advancements that is fueled by the various technological innovations, enhancing the animal health, productivity, and the overall welfare of the animal. By use of these smart system and the innovative approaches, the many opportunities they are being given to the farmers as well as to the owners. So these are the recent innovation and the trends which are going on in the livestock and the companion animal fields. First is the diagnostic advancements. As I earlier told you, the disease, if it is diagnosed at the early stages, then it is very easy to get controlled. Then another field, that is the telemedicine, then robotic and the automation, different wearables, 3D printing, monitoring equipments, virtual reality, then nanotechnology, artificial intelligence. These are the some of the fields which are growing day by day. Please change the slide. Next. So first is the diagnostic advancements. For diagnosis of any of the ailment or the disease, the diagnostics, they are very important. So we are taking the inspiration from the human science that any disease that should be diagnosed at the very early stage. So right from the back years, the digital radiography that utilizes the X-ray has been used to detect any defect in the bone or in the body, that is the X-rays. But the earlier X-ray machine, it was very heavy and we have to process the slide or the X-ray screen, which are the trendy one. But nowadays, these X-ray machines, they have undergone the modernization and they become the digital one. So they are very easy to be carry, and instead of developing the films, the X-rays, they can be monitored on the laptops or in the any computer screen. So by this, we can detect the fractures, cancers, and the arthritis. Another renovation, that is the ultrasound. By this, ultrasound actually uses the sound waves instead of the X-rays. And by the ultrasound, we can examine the deep-seated organs in the body, that is the heart, liver, kidney, etc. And another is the CT scan, that is the computed tomography scans, which gives the cross-sectional images of the different organs, even the brain, even the spine, or even the bones. And we can diagnose the early stages of the cancers and the spinal cord injuries by this. Then MRI, that is the magnetic resonance imaging, which gives the multi-sectional images of the soft organs, or which are the deep-seated organs, and help in the accurate diagnosis, real-time insight. And basically these all diagnostic, they are basically the non-invasive type. Non-invasive type means earlier, if there is any ailment in the heart, liver, or any soft organ, we have to take the biopsy. So biopsy is basically the invasive type of the procedure, by which we can take the smaller sample of any organ and see the different cross sections of that particular organ or organ tissue and discover what is the ailment. So these non-invasive techniques, they uncover the pathologies which are in the organs, which are even difficult to reach by the invasive one. Then they help in the early detection of the cancer, heart diseases, and the musculoskeletal disorders. Advanced to this is the molecular diagnostics that actually decode the genetic blueprint of the animal. Now, what is the molecular diagnosis? It basically focuses on analyzing the biological markers in the genome and the proteome to detect the pathogens very precisely in the body. So two types of the methods, they are trending nowadays. PCR1, that is the polymerase chain reaction, it is very commonly used. It actually amplifies the DNA or RNA for detecting the minute traces of the viruses and the bacteria or even the fungi which are present inside the body. It actually pinpoints the exact cause of the infection, and it also gives in-depth research into the genetic mutation and the disease mechanism. Some of the conditions like the parvovirus infection and distemper, which are very common in the canines or in the companion animals, they can be easily diagnosed by this PCR technique. And many of the laboratories, they are doing the PCR. Then next generation sequencing, it basically involves the entire genomic study, or that is the comprehensive analysis of the genetic material of any animal. It identifies the genetic mutation, advanced diagnosis of the diseases like the avian influenza and the feline immunodeficiency diseases. Advanced to this is the telemedicine, which is becoming very popular nowadays in the veterinary sciences. And inspiration to this telemedicine, it came actually from the human science. And this became very popular during the COVID-19 period when there was complete lockdown and no doctor was available for the physical examination. So this telemedicine was introduced. It is actually the virtual communication between the pet owner, farmer, or with the vet or with any expert or the doctor. It saves the time and the travel period, and it can be done by two methods, which are very much popular nowadays. First is to contact the vet online by doing the phone call, and vet can be assessed at any time and anywhere. Second is some applications they have been introduced, like the Vetport app, which can monitor the vital signs and note any symptom of the disease, and even share the photos or the videos of the companion animal or the livestock uh, to the vet, and he can give his diagnosis and the further recommendation for the treatment. So this became very popular nowadays, and many of the universities, like our university, that has introduced the Kisan call center, in which any farmer or any owner, they can contact the experts which are sitting at that time. Need of the telemedicine for the livestock is very important because it also minimizes the social and the economic losses attributable to the livestock diseases, and it also bridges the gap in the veterinary infrastructure. Currently, 41,000 veterinarians posts, they are vacant, and there is shortage of the manpower. So by doing the telemedicine, we can check out all these gaps which are present in the veterinary infrastructure. Because this veterinary infrastructure, previous one, it was a neglected field, but nowadays veterinarian, they are taking part in each and every program of the government. And it addresses the safety of the animal and the animal keepers and the veterinary health worker from the various contagious zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases, basically, everyone is aware of these zoonotic diseases, which are the diseases which spread from animal to human beings. So government of India has also taken very initiative in this for promotion of the telemedicine initiatives. So they have introduced the e-Gopala app, and at the same time, a national animal disease control program, they are also being launched to make this telemedicine very familiar. Then the precision veterinary medicine means to precise the veterinary medicine to a very particular disease or a very particular condition. For this, we have to study, we have to establish the advanced labs, and the genomics, they are basically studied. It refers to the study of the genome, means the entire DNA content of the animal, to understand the genetic predisposition and disease susceptibility of a particular breed or particular animal, and also the genes which are responsible for the traits which are of economic importance, like the milk production or the meat production or the egg production in the poultry. So these traits, they are identified, and these genes or the DNA contents, they are introduced into the animals, and they particular animals which are having or which are resistant to these type of the defects or the genetic predisposition, they are selected for the further breeding of the animals. So they help in the identification of the inherited diseases and reduces the genetic defect in the herd through the animal selection. So it also helps in the early diagnosis of the pathogen very quickly and accurately. And by study of these genomics, we can tailor the medical treatment. Instead of giving the vast or the vague treatment, we can tailor the medical treatment and the management practice of that particular individual or a particular herd to optimize the health outcome. For the further advancement in this genomic studies are the genomic editing system. And it involves the two types of the editing. First is the CRISPR, that is the Cas19, that actually modifies the specific genes which are particularly related to some economic traits of the animal herd or any animal. Then second is the gene silencing. It means the reducing the effect of particular gene or its regression which causes the any disease. So that gene which is responsible for creating the disease, that is silenced. Another is the bioinformatic tools. Now, all these genomic studies, they are studied by some of the tools, which are the genomic analysis software, and any expert or any breeder that can analyze these traits or these genes or the genomic studies through their sensors. Then machine learning analysis of genomic data to detect the health risk and its management. Machine learning is actually the subsector of the artificial intelligence that has been becoming very popular nowadays to maintain the animal herd. And by this machine learning, we can uh, uh, check the what are the traits or what are the part of the DNA that is responsible for creating the any particular disease. Another system is the wearable devices for the animals. These are basically the compact tools which are sensor equipped, and they take the detailed data of the animal body, maybe the physiological parameters, behavioral parameters, and the environmental conditions. These are usually attached to the body either as a collars or ear tags or as a leg band. So very physiological parameters of the body, they can be monitored. Any deviation in these physiological parameter or the behavioral pattern, that indicates the disease. So the very early diagnosis of the disease and monitoring of the animal, we can do by these wearable devices. So for this, the Internet of Thing is involved, because these devices, they are interconnected with the seamless data transmission and AI and machine learning and biosensor, GPS and RFID. So by these wearable devices, which are the internal electronics for the animals, actually the RIFD tags, they are having a chip which is inserted under the pet skin. If these wearables, they are not, we are not able to attach these wearables to the animal. So the very fine chips, they can be inserted under the pet skin to monitor their physiological and the behavioral patterns. Next is the trends in managing the emerging diseases and the epidemiology. We are very well aware of the zoonotic diseases. In the recent past few years, we have seen the COVID-19 outbreak that was also a zoonotic disease. So the survey, and there are some trans-border diseases also in the animals. So the surveillance program that has been introduced to check the zoonotics, the spread of these zoonotic diseases. The COVID-19 virus, basically, it was also a trans-border disease and zoonotic in the sense it was actually the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which was the virus of the vat-borne virus, and it has been spread through the saliva and the respiratory fumes or the respiratory secretions to the rest of the population. So this was also a zoonotic disease. So surveillance of these emerging diseases is also very important. So for this, the first step is the big data analytics, our use of the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, Internet of Things, then geographic information system, remote sensing, satellite imagery, and the molecular technology. These all tools, they are employed to do the surveillance of these emerging diseases in the human beings as well as in the animals. Another breakthrough is the introduction of the mRNA vaccines. Breakthrough is in the sense like the traditional method of producing the vaccines, which takes a lot of time. In this, basically the inactivated or the weakened pathogens, they are introduced into the animal cell, and these animal cells basically produce the proteins which are found actually on the virus surface. Just like we have seen the Covaxin or the Covishield vaccine in the coronavirus. The coronavirus were having the spikes, and the same type of the proteins which these spikes of the coronavirus was carrying, the same type of the proteins they are produced and they are inserted into the animal body as the vaccine. And these proteins, they trigger a very strong immune response in the body. Second was in the animal sector, the rabies mRNA vaccine trials are still going on in the veterinary field. But in the human section, we have seen the Covishield or the Covaxin for the coronavirus. Second is the vector-based or the DNA vaccines. Vector-based means any harmless virus or the bacteria that has been selected as a vector, and that is taken as the antigen introduced into the animal body, and the resultant antibodies which are produced, they give the strong immune reaction to the immune response to the that antigens. So this is the another advancement, means the indirect production of the antibodies in the body. Second is the very important field, that is the antimicrobial resistance. We have seen in the past years that there is uncontrollable use of the antibiotics in every field, even in the human beings as well as in the veterinary sciences. So the uncontrollable use of the antibiotics, they have created the antimicrobial resistant into the body. For this, the now Government of India is also in action, and they are doing various public awareness programs to make aware the people about the uncontrollable use of the antibiotics, or to minimize the use of the antibiotics in any case. So the monitoring and regulation and the public awareness programs, they are going on, and they have suggested to use of the alternatives to the antibiotics to cure any of the disease. So these alternatives are the probiotics, which are basically the beneficial bacteria. To tackle the bacteria, we use the beneficial bacteria that helps to maintain the gut microbiome to a very good level, and there is a decrease in the need for the antibiotics, and these probiotics also raises the animal's immune response to a particular bacteria or the virus. Second is the phage therapy. Phage means which engulf the other. So for bacteria, we uses the another bacteria or the bacteriophage or the viruses, which actually target the source of the infection, that may be the bacteria or the virus. They actually kill these bacteria or the virus which produces the diseases, and resultant they give alternative to the antibiotic. So these are becoming very popular as a new tool for providing the alternative to the antibiotics. Second, if all these therapies they are not working, infection is at the high rate, so we do the precision dosing of the antibiotics. Uncontrollable nahi, but the precise use of the antibiotics depending upon their pharmacokinetics. So this is the another field. Next is the various advancements which are going in the veterinary surgery and the radiology. So instead of the treating the any pain or any inflammation with the analgesics or the antipyretics, we have trying nowadays the animal acupuncture in the companion animals. As we know, this acupuncture is very common in the human science. So we are trying this type of the acupuncture in the companion animals also. This can be done instead of pressing the particular points. We introduce very fine needles that increases the blood flow to a particular area, gives the immune response, stimulate the body to heal itself, doing the muscle relaxation and healing of that particular painful area. So it provides the treatment to even from the hip dysplasia to the chronic degenerative joint diseases in the companion animals. So laser therapy, like the infrared rays, they are also being utilized nowadays for the pain relief, wound healing, ear infection, and arthritis. So the source of inspiration to all these treatments is taken from the animal from the human science to the animal sciences. Next is by using the laparoscope and the endoscope, the minimal invasive surgeries, they are being tried in the companion animal, like doing the laparoscopic ovariohysterectomy in the dogs, and because it reduces the recovery time and the surgical stress. Another is the 3D printing. By using the MCT, that is the multi-slice computed tomography, MRI scan, 4D or the 3D images of a particular part of the body, we can get the 3D images of a particular involved area. And for example, in the companion animals, the 3D printed titanium jaws implants are being introduced into the dog, which has the tumor in the mandible. Another field is the robotic assisted surgery. This field is also very common nowadays in the human beings, because this robotic surgery actually gives the very precise incision, and the complex procedure they can be done with the minimal invasion of a particular tissue. So these are also being tried nowadays in the companion animals in the various colleges. Then use of the artificial intelligence in the diagnostics in the animals. So these use of artificial intelligence by means of the various sensors like the collars, they are being done in maintaining the herd. So a particular cow, this is the schematic representation, how the cow is a sensor or the collar, smart collar that is being given to a cow, and all the body parameters like temperature, respiration rate, cardiac rate, and its behavioral changes, they all are monitored by a sensor, and they create the algorithm for the data analysis by the machine learning tool. So you, by using the artificial intelligence in the diagnosis and the maintenance of the heart in the farm, the veterinarians, they can create the customized preventive care regimen to keep their pets healthy. Then in the animal sciences, there are various innovations going on in the animal breeding. In the animal breeding, most important is the selection of the animal. By studying the genomes of a particular animal, which is going to be used for the breeding purpose, the different traits and the genes, they are identified, whether this animal is susceptible to any disease, or the traits, genes which are responsible for the traits which are of economic importance. So the animal selection is very important. Even we can use the technologies to take the sex selection if in the embryonic stage, and we take only the female ones to maintain the herd and increase the productivity. Cloning, embryo culture, artificial intelligence, artificial insemination, parthenogenesis, somatic cell nuclear transfer, gene transfer, all these techniques, they are helpful for selecting the animals and doing the various innovations in the animal breeding, because the animal breeding is very important to maintain the productivity into the farm. Even with the use of the technology, even the semen of the high producing bulls, they can be stored for the further breeding purpose. These are new technologies which are tried nowadays. The Ongo Vetic offers a portable semen analyzer to which provides the computer-assisted semen analyzer and measure the sperm quality and simplifies the sperm analysis. Then Danish Genetics specializes in the big pig breeding in the beacon farms. Now, next is the precision livestock farming. Precision livestock farming means the application of the advanced technologies to monitor and manage the livestock health, productivity, environment with very high accuracy. For this, we can use all the previous I have described, like the wearable devices, IoT sensors, drones. These drones with the artificial intelligence, they do the surveillance of the large grazing area for the efficient resource utilization, and also do the monitoring of the animal while grazing. So it optimizes the productivity, it reduces the manpower cost, and it also help in the animal welfare by early detection of the diseases. And the examples I have already told: smart collars, automatic feeding system, and drone to assess the pasture conditions. So this is the schematic diagram, how this work by using the artificial intelligence, the animal herd, it is maintained. All the data that is collected through the camera or the sensors which are being applied on the body parts of the animals, and the data that is collected through the sensors, and it is visualized and monitored through a veterinarian or any animal breeder. They can monitor and create the very big large data size which is analyzed by the machine learning. So next is the different technological advances in the animal nutrition. Nutrition is also very important part of keeping the large herd or in the dairy farms also. So by using the smart feeders which provide time to time feed, and it checks the wastage of the feed, and the sensors which are used to monitor and optimize the animal diet. By study of the genomics, we can also tailor the animal diet according to its genetic makeup, and the personalized nutritional plans, they can be maintained for the different breeds or the different life stages of the animal, like the young ones, adult, and the senile. Senile animals, generally, they are not kept at the farm. Then by using the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, the data generated is to maintain the nutrient requirement of a particular animal, and the ration and the feed quality, that is also maintained. Then introduction of the feed enzymes to break down the complex nutrients, then gut health and the microbiome modulation, that is done by the probiotics or the prebiotics, that decreases the use of the antibiotics to maintain the overall health of the animal. Then there is also the use of the bioactive compounds like the antioxidants, amino acids, which can improve the meat, milk, and the egg quality, enhances the animal growth rate and the productivity. It also reduces the production of the carbon footprints and food waste and the byproducts of the feed content. Another field which is going very prominently is of concern. By utilizing the food waste of the human side and byproduct of the any feed, they can be utilized as a animal ration, or they can be utilized after its supplementation, some of the enzymes and the multi-components. Then the automatic feeding system, this is the picture of the automatic feeding system, which personalize the feeding system and the rationing of the animal feed tailored to the nutritional need of the individual animal, and it optimizes the growth and production of the production, and it minimizes the waste, and it produces the various schedules of the animal feeding. Then another field which is growing in the veterinary is the nanotechnology in the feeding. It is basically involved in the animal nutrition by using the various nanomaterial and nanostructure to enhance the efficiency, quality, sustainability of the animal feed and the feed additives. Means these nanoparticles, they encapsulate the feed material and deliver the essential nutrients, vitamins, and the minerals more effectively to the animal. They also improves the availability of these substances and helps in the better nutrient absorption, and especially in case of the ruminants. Some of the nanomaterials like the silver and the copper, they have some antimicrobial properties. They are introduced into the feed of the animal as a very nanoparticles. And to this, inspiration has come from the Ayurveda, where in the human science, the silver and the gold particles, they are being used to treat the rheumatic arthritis. These nanoparticles, along with the nanosensor, they can be used to monitor the health and the nutritional status of the animal. And it also enhance the storage and the preservation of the animal feed. It improves the feed conversion ratio and make the sustainability of the animal production, decreasing the waste output. Next. Now, this is the use of the artificial intelligence in the dairy farming, like the smart milking system. They are used. They are basically the robotic milking machines which are equipped with the AI, and they are used to monitor the cow health and the milk yield. These machines, they can even identify the cow which is ready for the milking, and it also measure the milk quantity, detection of the early mastitis, that is the udder infection, and It also make the customized milking schedule to improve the milk quality and the quantity. And by this artificial intelligence, we can even maintain the appropriate environmental conditions in the sheds of the animal by controlling the temperature, humidity, and the lighting. Because all these environmental factors, they have a very positive role on the milk production. If the temperature is high, the milk production is automatically reduced. If the temperature is very low, then the temperature, this milk production is reduced. So the maintenance of the appropriate environmental condition, it can be done with the help of the artificial intelligence. Even the milk quality that can be controlled, then robotic cleaning and the maintenance of the farms, because hygiene is very important. If the floor, they are cleaned very regularly with the help of these robots, then there are least chances of the mastitis. And because this mastitis, this disease has a very detrimental effect on the milk quality as well as on the health status of the udder of the animal. Even the farm management and the data analytics, they can be controlled with the AI and the machine learning. And with the help of the drones, the monitoring can be easily done. These are the some of the technological innovation in the animal husbandry. Husbandry means to maintain the different herds. First is the precision livestock farming, automatic milking system, feed optimization software, genetic engineering, and the CRISPR, gene silencing, livestock tracking and the management system, drone and the satellite surveillance. So all these technological innovations, they are being nowadays used in the large or the small scale in the different herds. Automatic feeding system, environmental control system, wearable health monitors, and the virtual fencing. These all are nowadays being used in the very modernized dairy farms to maintain the health condition as well as the quality of the milk as well as the animal health. These are some of the another trending areas of the research for the sustainable animal health and the production, like the genetic improvement using the phenomic, genomic, and the bioinformatic approaches, development and the application of the sex sorted semen, so that the only female calves they are produced, precision dairy animal production and improving the dairy animal welfare by the use of the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, then production of the functional milk for the specific needs, like in the agriculture, the brown rice or the golden rice they are produced. The similar studies or the fields, they are also common in veterinary sciences to produce the functional milk for the specific needs. Production of the need-based and the region-based specific feed and nutritional supplements for the high-yielding animals. New age sustainable technology in the processing of the dairy and the milk products that increase the shelf life is also going on. Disease resistant research to identify the specific markers to identify healthier and the disease resistant animals. Gut microbiome studies to improve the digestion and health through the diet and the management practices. These are the some of the common fields which are trending nowadays in the animal and the veterinary sciences. Now, initially, the vets were not treated as par with the human doctors, and the only job career which was there for the veterinary and the animal sciences is the veterinary doctor in the state services. But nowadays, various career options are there for the veterinary and the animal sciences. It can be in the field of research, it can be in the field of teaching, clinical excellence. Various private clinics, they are being established. Even they have role in the food industry, military, now the army and the RBC, BSF commandant, all are offering job to the veterinarians. They can act as a microbiologist or the pathologist, even establish the labs, these diagnostic labs similar to the human beings, and they can act as a very veterinary technician consultations. then forensic veterinary sciences, animal caretaker, wildlife veterinarians, public health issues, then poultry farming, civil services, dairy entrepreneurs, pharmacist, animal nutritionist, epidemiologist, then even veterinary dentistry is also nowadays becoming very popular. Then corporate veterinary medicine, para-veterinary workers, then the private practice, and even the breeders. So all these fields, they are taking the veterinarians and the animal sciences as a, we can take as a career options in the different fields. So thank you very much for the patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. On the behalf of everyone, I just want to say a big thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with all us today, sir, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, agriculture, as we know, is important of global security and economic development. It has evolved significantly over the years, embracing new technologies, sustainability practices, and innovations to address the challenges of feeding a growing population while preserving our planet. We are fortunate to be a part of this ongoing transformation where every conversation idea shared brings us closer to more resilient and sustainable future for agriculture. So now it's my pleasure to welcome our esteemed guest of today's conference, Dr. Jujar Singh, Assistant Professor, Mata Gujri College, Fatehgarh Sahib. So I welcome you, sir, on the behalf of everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, ma'am. Can I start my presentation, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you can start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, Very good afternoon to all of you. Today we talk about dry flower production. So very important topic in case of our today agriculture concern, because it's the only branch where we got a maximum export price. Even we observe the export quality and export rupees in rupees, there is maximum profit we observed in dry flower production. So firstly we talk about why we go for dry flower production, because dry flower products are eco-friendly, biodegradable, and uh, does not depend on weather conditions. These can be substitute for plastic flowers, which cause pollution and degrade our environment. Firstly, we talk about why these products are eco-friendly. Mostly, we observe that in our home, even other places, we decorate our home and rooms with the plastic flowers. सो जो प्लास्टिक फ्लावर्स हैं उनकी जब बात करें तो जब वो यूज कर लेते हैं, जब उनको फेंकते हैं, तो वो दोबारा जमीन में डिग्रेड नहीं हो पाते, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो हमारे वाटर सोर्सेज को चोक करते हैं। तो उसकी वजह से हमें क्या दिक्कत आती है कि वो आगे प्लास्टिक, इवन आप आजकल ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो तो इवन सी लेवल तक हमारे प्लास्टिक पहुंच चुकी है। और अगर हमने अभी थोड़े दिन पहले कुछ न्यूज पढ़ी हो तो हमें ये भी सुनने में मिला कि जो माइक्रो प्लास्टिक है वो हमारे नमक में, इवन शुगर में आनी शुरू हो गई है। तो इन सभी को सोच के हमने सोचा कि क्यों ना जो एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट है और इवन ड्राई फ्लावर्स है उनके ऊपर काम किया जाए। तो इन सभी को लेके हमने एक प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया डीएसटी से। ये प्रोजेक्ट हमें स्पॉन्सर प्रोजेक्ट था, तो इसमें काफी कुछ नया शुरू किया। तो फर्स्टली एक तो ये इको फ्रेंडली था, बायोडिग्रेडेबल था। सेकंड, ये प्लास्टिक फ्लास्क का बड़ा अच्छा सब्स्टिट्यूट था। Dry flower materials used in dry flower production are easily available and year-round supplied from a flower garden or forest area. अगर हम बात करें इवन हिमाचल एरिया, इवन पंजाब एरिया, तो इन सभी में हम क्या ऑब्जर्व करते हैं कि ये सारी चीजें हमें थ्रू आउट द ईयर अवेलेबल हो सकती हैं। अगर मैं बात करूं पंजाब कंडीशन की, तो हमारे पास मक्की बहुत लगती है, जिसको हम मेज बोलते हैं, भुट्टा बोलते हैं। तो इसको बहुत अच्छा हम यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं ड्राई फ्लावर प्रोडक्शन में। इवन इसके बाद अगर हम बात करें, इवन हिमाचल है, तो हिमाचल में अगर हम फॉरेस्ट एरिया में जाते हैं तो पाइनस कॉन्स जो है वो हमें काफी अवेलेबल होते हैं, तो ईयर अराउंड वो हमें फॉरेस्ट में मिल जाते हैं। तो इसके बिना अगर हम फॉरेस्ट में जाएं तो एक प्लांट बड़ा इजीली हमें मिलता है, दैट इज बार्लेरिया। सो बार्लेरिया क्रिस्टाटा जो है उसको हम काफी अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने में यूज कर सकते हैं। तो बार्लेरिया क्रिस्टाटा के जो फ्लावर्स जब ड्राई हो जाते हैं तो उसमें हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं कि छोटे छोटे नीडल टाइप फ्लावर्स जो हैं उनको हम रिमूव करके उसके काफी अच्छे क्राफ्ट्स बना सकते हैं। इवन उनको कलर करके ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स बना सकते हैं, इवन उनको डेकोरेशन में यूज कर सकते हैं। सो हम बात करें तो ये टोटल जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो हमें इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं ईयर अराउंड, इवन हमारे फॉरेस्ट से, इवन हमारे एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट से। ड्राई फ्लावर प्रोडक्शन नीड्स लो इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड लो कॉस्ट मशीनरी। सो मैं आपको इस प्रेजेंटेशन के एंड में दिखाऊंगा कि हमने कैसे ये पूरी लैब एस्टेब्लिश की है, कौन कौन सा मटेरियल यूज किया है। तो आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे कि इस फैक्ट्री के लिए, इस लैब के लिए हमें कोई ज्यादा मटेरियल की जरूरत नहीं है, बट एक बहुत अच्छे आइडियाज की जरूरत है। तो इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट भी लो है और लो कॉस्ट मशीनरी हमें चाहिए। Next, dry flowers are used for the decoration, even bouquet formation, even different flower arrangements, and various floral handcrafts, such as greeting cards. तो बहुत beautiful greeting cards बनते हैं। मेरे को आज भी याद है जब मैं बीएससी में था, तो मेरी जो बीएससी है डॉक्टर वाई एस परमार यूनिवर्सिटी सोलन से मैंने की है। तो वहाँ मेरा इलेक्टिव जो था वो फ्लोरिकल्चर था। तो उसमें हमने क्राफ्ट्स बनाने शुरू किए, फ्लावर क्राफ्ट्स बनाते थे। मेरे मैडम थे प्रियंका मैम, आपके पास ही देहरादून के पास ही इंस्टीट्यूट है धोला कुआं में, वो आजकल वहाँ के हेड है। तो हमने वहाँ लैब में ये काम शुरू किया, तो हमें असाइनमेंट्स मिलती थी, तो उसमें हमने ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स बनाने शुरू किए। तो मेरे को याद है कि आज से 2 साल पहले जब मैं यूनिवर्सिटी दोबारा गया तो वो ग्रीटिंग कार्ड मेरे को वहां लगे हुए मिले। तो जो खुशी मेरे को उस टाइम थी कि उस टाइम के बने हुए ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स मेरे आज भी यूनिवर्सिटी में है। तो यहां मैं ये बात बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि इतने साल तक वो जो ग्रीटिंग कार्ड थे वो खराब नहीं हुए। सो ड्राई फ्लावर से बने हुए प्रोडक्ट्स लॉन्ग लास्टिंग भी है। इवन अगर हम बात करें तो ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स जो हमने बनाए वो काफी ज्यादा पॉपुलर हुए, इवन बार्लेरिया क्रिस्टाटा से बने थे। और जब आईसीआर की मैं वेबसाइट चेक करता हूं तो उनमें से कई ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स आपको आईसीआर की वेबसाइट पे भी मिलेंगे ड्राई फ्लावर्स के बने हुए। सो ड्राई फ्लावर्स आज के टाइम में एक बहुत ज्यादा डिमांडिंग वेंचर है। तो इस पे जब हमने पंजाब में काम शुरू किया तो हमें एक बात रियलाइज हुई कि पंजाब में इसमें ज्यादा काम कहीं भी नहीं। इसके बिना इसमें काफी चीजें और थी, वॉल हैंगिंग्स थे, कैलेंडर्स हम बना सकते हैं, इवन कैंडल्स हैं, इवन फ्लोरल ज्वेलरी है, इवन डेकोरेटिव मिरर्स बना सकते हैं। तो ये सारा कुछ इन ड्राई फ्लावर से हम बना सकते हैं। अब थोड़ा सा बात करें कि इंडियन इकोनॉमी और इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमी में ड्राई फ्लावर्स का क्या रोल है। तो उसमें अगर देखते हैं तो यूएसए इज द लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर ऑफ ड्राई फ्लावर्स। इवन फ्रॉम इंडिया ड्राइड फ्लावर्स आर एक्सपोर्टेड टू ओवर 60 कंट्रीज। तो अगर मैं फ्लावर्स की बात करूं तो फ्लावर्स में मैं क्या ऑब्जर्व करता हूं कि ऑलमोस्ट 70 to 75% टोटल एक्सपोर्ट का जो फ्लावर्स का है हमारा, उसमें ड्राई फ्लावर्स एक्सपोर्ट हो रहे हैं। और जब मैं ये सारा कुछ देखता हूं तो मेरे को ये भी लगता है कि मेरे आसपास तो ड्राई फ्लावर्स कहीं नहीं है, तो 70 से 75% फ्लावर्स का एक्सपोर्ट ड्राई फ्लावर्स का कैसे हो गया। तो टोटल अगर सिनेरियो देखते हैं तो काफी कुछ आपका जो समंदर तट के पास एरियाज हैं या साउथ इंडिया है उसमें ये काफी काम हो रहा है, तो वहां से एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है। तो ड्राई फ्लावर्स अलोन कंट्रीब्यूट नियरली ₹320 crores ऑफ टोटल एक्सपोर्ट्स। द मेजर प्रोडक्शन सेंटर्स इन इंडिया आर इन टोटिकोरिन, इवन कोची में है, इवन कोलकाता में है। तो ये मेन सेंटर्स हैं जहां से ड्राई फ्लावर एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है। तो अगर इन कंडीशंस को मैं देखूं, इन जगह को मैं देखूं कि ये ही ज्यादा पॉपुलर क्यों हुए ड्राई फ्लावर्स में, तो ये वो जगह है जहां पे अंग्रेजों ने ड्राई फ्लावर्स का काम पॉपुलर करना शुरू किया। तो उस टाइम में ये काम शुरू हुआ, तो आज यहाँ काफी अच्छी इंडस्ट्री है। कुछ देर पहले मेरे को हैदराबाद में विजिट करने का मौका मिला, तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि हर साल हमारा उन्नत भारत अभियान जो है उसके अंडर हैदराबाद जाता हूँ। तो हैदराबाद में मेरे को क्या दिखा कि वहां लोगों ने बड़े अच्छे क्राफ्ट बनाने शुरू किए। तो वो क्या करते हैं, इवन जो आपका रद्दी वेस्ट है, ये कागज है, इवन कपड़ा है, उसको पानी में गला के फिर उसको हैंडमेड पेपर में कन्वर्ट करते हैं। फिर उस हैंडमेड पेपर से वो इवन आपके जो बुक मार्क्स हैं, इवन आपके जो फाइल कवर्स हैं, इवन मिठाई वाले डब्बे हैं, वो बनते हैं। वो लेडीज को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देते हैं, फिर वो उनका बनाते हैं ये सारा सामान। इवन अगर मैं ऑब्जर्व करूं तो साउथ इंडिया में ही कुछ कंपनीज हैं जो पूरे वर्ल्ड में एक अपनी नई जगह लग रखती हैं। तो उसमें रमेश ड्राई फ्लावर्स हैं। तो बेसिकली ऐसे एक छोटे छोटे यूनिट्स पहले एस्टेब्लिश हुए, आज बहुत अच्छा इनका एक्सपोर्ट का काम है। तो इवन आयरिस कंपनी है, उसके काफी अच्छे इंडिया में प्रोडक्ट्स मिल रहे हैं। तो थोड़ा सा मैंने समझने की कोशिश की कि ये सारे वेंचर्स कैसे शुरू हुए। तो बेसिकली इन्होंने क्या किया कि पहले जो ड्राई फ्लावर्स के प्रोडक्ट्स थे वो खुद शुरू किए, फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने लोगों को बनाने के लिए उत्साहित किया, स्पेशली वो लेडीज जो अनएम्प्लॉयड थी। साउथ में एक बड़ी अच्छी ड्राइव जो बास्केट्स हैं उनमें मेरे को बड़ी अच्छी बात लगी कि वो क्या करते हैं, सबसे पानी में आज सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हमारे लिए हाइसिंथ है। वो क्या करते हैं, वाटर हाइसिंथ को इकट्ठा करके उसके बाद उसको ड्राई करते हैं, सन ड्राई करते हैं। तो उसके बाद उसको कन्वर्ट करते हैं हैंडमेड बास्केट्स में। तो एक अच्छा वेंचर है जहां से ये रुपीस में इंडिया में बने और फॉरेन में जाके वो डॉलर और पॉन्ड्स में बिक रहे हैं। तो एक फॉरेन अर्निंग का बहुत अच्छा ये एक एग्जांपल है जो ड्राई फ्लावर्स में हम देख रहे हैं। तो ड्राई फ्लावर्स में अगर हम देखें तो काफी फ्लावर्स ऐसे भी हैं जो हम खुद ग्रो करते हैं। USA, UK, Netherlands, Germany, and other the UAE are major countries where the Indian dry flower products are exported. So ये कुछ कंट्रीज हैं जहां पे हम ड्राई फ्लावर प्रोडक्ट्स बेच रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं इंडिया के। इवन कुछ प्लांट्स ऐसे भी हैं जो हम प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, कुछ वाइल्ड कलेक्शन करते हैं। जैसे हम बात करें तो ड्राई फ्लावर्स लाइक लार्कस्पर, पेपर फ्लावर्स, इसको हम हेलिक्राइसम बोल सकते हैं, इवन एक्रोक्लिनम है उसको यूज करते हैं, स्टैटिक्स है, इवन स्ट्रॉ फ्लावर्स हैं, गॉम्फ्रीना, लोटस पॉड्स, मैरीगोल्ड पेटल्स, रोज पेटल्स, जेरेनियम, ये सारे हम यूज करते हैं, आर यूज्ड इन अरेंजमेंट्स एंड पॉट प्यूरीज। सो इंडिया में अगर हमने ड्राई फ्लावर्स की बात की, हमने फ्लावर एक्सपोर्ट की बात की, तो हम अगर एक बात करें पॉट प्यूरीज की, तो पॉट प्यूरीज का सबसे बड़ा रोल है इंडियन ड्राई फ्लावर एक्सपोर्ट में। तो सबसे ज्यादा अगर इंडिया से कुछ एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है तो ड्राई फ्लावर्स की बनी हुई पॉट प्यूरीज जो है वो वर्ल्ड मार्केट में एक्सपोर्ट हो रही है। नाउ द स्कोप अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन ड्राई फ्लावर्स इंडस्ट्री, it is a labor intensive process that provides job opportunities for poor people, self employment to huge number of workers including housewives, physically challenged persons and rural people. इसकी मैंने थोड़ी सी एग्जांपल दी आपको कि कैसे साउथ इंडिया में ये सारा कुछ हो रहा है। इसकी एग्जांपल मैं आप अपनी पुरानी यूनिवर्सिटी नौनी यूनिवर्सिटी की भी देना चाहूंगा, डॉक्टर वाई.एस. परमार यूनिवर्सिटी में। तो वहां भी उन्होंने कुछ लेडीज का ये वेंचर शुरू करवाया। इवन वो जो फ्लावर प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो आजकल इवन शिमला में, इवन सोलन मॉल पे वो सेल करते हैं। इसकी एक बहुत अच्छी एग्जांपल, आप एक सीरियल देखते थे सोनी पे, तो शार्क टैंक। तो अगर आपने किसी को याद हो तो शार्क टैंक में ऐसी काफी कंपनीज आई जो ड्राई फ्लावर्स में जिन्होंने अभी अपना वेंचर शुरू किया। सो दैट मीन्स एक फोकस्ड एरिया है जिसके ऊपर अगर हम काम करते हैं तो अच्छी इनकम के सोर्सेज हैं। अब मैंने बात की बाकियों की, तो मैं अपनी बात करूं तो हमने अपने कॉलेज कैंपस में ये सारे प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने शुरू किए। थोड़ी देर तक मैं आपको इस पूरी प्रॉपर लैब का विजिट भी करवाऊंगा कि क्या क्या हमने कैसे कैसे प्रोड्यूस किया। तो हमने क्या ऑब्जर्व किया कि इन चीजों की डिमांड बहुत रहती है। इवन हमारे पास जो प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है वो इवन सफिशिएंट नहीं हो रहा, तो वो भी पूरा नहीं हो रहा। एक चीज और बताऊं कि कुछ देर पहले मेरे को लुधियाना विजिट करने का मौका मिला, क्योंकि हम कुछ रेजिन प्रोडक्ट्स के ऊपर काम कर रहे थे। तो रेजिन प्रोडक्ट्स ड्राई फ्लावर्स में सबसे ज्यादा डिमांडिंग प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, आजकल बहुत ज्यादा इसकी पॉपुलैरिटी हो रही है। तो हम क्या देखते हैं कि इन रेजिन प्रोडक्ट्स में ड्राई फ्लावर्स यूज हो रहे हैं। तो ये सारे के सारे ड्राई फ्लावर्स पैकेट्स जब मैंने देखे तो मेरे को लगा कि ये फ्लावर्स तो हमारे पास भी होते हैं। तो हम इसको ड्राई क्यों नहीं करते? चलो, मैंने उनसे पूछा कि आपको ये प्राइस किस में पैकेट्स मिल रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने बोला कि ये हम 200 रुपए का सेल कर रहे हैं और हमें ऑलमोस्ट 150 160 रुपए का ये मार्केट में मिलता है। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि आपको मार्केट में कहाँ से मिलता है? तो उन्होंने बोला कि ज्यादातर ये प्रोडक्ट्स हमें चाइना से इंपोर्ट होते हैं, उसके बाद हम इसको परचेज करते हैं। तो मैंने बोला कि अगर हम इससे ज्यादा अच्छी क्वालिटी में और आपको इससे कम प्राइस में दे दें, तो उन्होंने बोला कि आप पहले सैंपल्स भेजो हमारे पास। तो हमने अपने यहाँ ड्राई किए, इवन कुछ फ्लावर्स ऐसे ड्राई किए जो पहले मार्केट में इवन अवेलेबल भी नहीं थे। तो इसमें पॉजिटिव चीज हमारे पास क्या थी कि वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स जो हमारे पंजाब में है या हिमाचल में है, हो सकता है वो चाइना में ना हो या वो उनको ड्राई ही ना कर रहे हो, तो वो एक आपकी मोनोपोली का वे है, क्योंकि वो फ्लावर्स सिर्फ ड्राई होके आपके पास होंगे। तो इसमें कुछ फ्लावर्स थे, जैसे छोटा कैलेंडुला है, इवन क्राइसैंथेमम्स हमने ड्राई किए जो डिफरेंट कलर्स के थे। इवन अगर बात करें तो गोमफ्रीना तो नॉर्मली आपको मिल ही रहा है ड्राई फ्लावर्स में। इवन रोज पेटल्स की डिमांड पूरी नहीं हो रही है। तो ये सारी वो चीजें हैं जिनके ऊपर हम ड्राई फ्लावर्स में काम कर सकते हैं। देखो, आज का हमारा टॉपिक ये भी था कि हमने इन्वायरमेंट को कैसे सस्टेनेबल बनाना है। तो ये सारी चीजें उनके ऊपर फोकस भी है इन्वायरमेंट सस्टेनेबल करने के लिए। इवन अगर हम देखें तो ये वो ट्रिक है जिससे हम पैसा भी कमा सकते हैं और वेस्ट को यूटिलाइज भी कर सकते हैं। It is very important from the point of view import export, as the maximum flowers used are imported from different countries. जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दी चाइना की। By producing dry flowers locally not only reduces the cost but also provide quality products. ये भी मैंने आपसे बात शेयर की कि हमने बोला कि उनसे अच्छी क्वालिटी और कम रेट में और वैरायटी फ्लावर्स की हम आपको प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। It will empower the youth of the country with adequate skills. देखो, ड्राई फ्लावर्स का जो काम है, नो डाउट एक साइंटिफिक काम है, बट इसमें एक बहुत अच्छा आर्ट यूटिलाइज होता है कि आपके कितना आर्टिस्टिक दिमाग है। कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा तो आप उसको देख के बहुत खुश होगे और उसको बोलोगे कि ये तो वेस्ट से बना हुआ है, बट उसको यूटिलाइज इतने अच्छे वे से किया कि वो वेस्ट ही नहीं लगता, वो आपको बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट लगेगा। It will empower the youth of country with adequate skills. So proper skill के लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। मेरा एक आइडिया ये भी था कि स्किल के ऊपर जो हम कोर्सेज करते हैं तो उसमें भी एक ड्राई फ्लावर का कोर्स जो है वो स्किल काउंसिल को बोल के ऐड करवाया जा सकता है, क्योंकि इसमें काफी ज्यादा डिमांड है। It possesses a great potential in dry flower industry throughout the world, especially in the hilly regions of India. Different type of wild plant material available widely in the world also strengthen the establishment of dry flower industry. So मैं एक इसकी एग्जांपल दे रहा था कि कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसे हैं, कुछ फ्लावर्स ऐसे हैं जो वाइल्ड पंजाब में होते हैं, हिमाचल में नहीं होते। कुछ ऐसे हैं जो हिमाचल में होते हैं, पंजाब में नहीं होते। तो टोटल मिला के अगर हम पूरे इंडिया की बात करें तो हमारे पास तीनों क्लाइमेट है, सब ट्रॉपिकल भी है, ट्रॉपिकल भी है, टेम्परेट भी है। जितना फ्लोरा हमारे पास हो सकता है वाइल्ड, जिसको हम ड्राई करके मार्केट में लेके आ सकते हैं, उतना शायद किसी और कंट्री के पास नहीं हो सकता। Financial assistance and training programs for entrepreneurship development is required. इसके लिए मैंने एक बहुत अच्छी एग्जांपल दी कि हम क्यों ना इसके ऊपर स्किल काउंसिल के छोटे छोटे कोर्सेज शुरू करें और इवन अनएम्प्लॉयड लेडीज को इसके बारे में सिखाना शुरू करें। हमने छोटे से ग्रुप्स बनाए जिसमें ये चीजें तैयार की, और इवन हमारे पास यहाँ एक फेस्ट होता है, उसमें भी हम सेल करते हैं। इवन एक शोक सभा होती है हमारे यहाँ, तो उसको हम सभा को इवन दिसंबर में फतेहगढ़ साहब में ऑलमोस्ट 5 से 10 लाख बंदा यहाँ विजिट करता है एक मंथ में ही। तो वो हमारे लिए ड्राई फ्लावर्स की एक बहुत अच्छी मार्केट का काम करता है। तो हमने लास्ट ईयर 2 साल से हम ये ड्राई फ्लावर्स की एग्जीबिशन लगा रहे हैं, तो काफी अच्छी रिस्पॉन्स हमें इसमें देखने को मिल रहा है। Awareness about the potential of dry flower technology by workshops, exhibitions, and seminar, etc., are important aspects to raise and strengthen dry flowers industry in India. देखो, ये थोड़ी सी जरूरत भी है हमें कि ज्यादातर कई इवन हमारे गांव में हो गए या कुछ सिटीज में हो गया, लोगों को ड्राई फ्लावर्स के बारे में ज्यादा नहीं पता, तो उनको अवेयरनेस के बारे में, उनके बारे में बताना, इसके फायदे क्या हैं उसके बारे में बताना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट सिलेक्शन ऑफ प्लांट मटेरियल। अब कौन कौन सा प्लांट मटेरियल जो है वो हम ड्राई फ्लावर्स के लिए यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं। फर्स्टली वी सिलेक्ट दोज प्लांट्स विच हैव लो मॉइस्चर कंटेंट एंड फाइब्रस टिश्यू, then attractive shape and pattern. Third, time of harvesting is very important. Fourth, stage of harvesting is most important. And fifth, after harvesting, plant parts should be placed in water to avoid wilting. अगर wilting होगी, उसकी shape खराब होगी तो भी दिक्कत में आएंगे हम। So selected material must be free from any insect or pest damage. अगर डैमेज है तो आप देखोगे उसकी क्वालिटी काफी डिटीरियोरेट हो जाएगी। कुछ एग्जांपल्स मैं दूंगा कि टाइम कैसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, स्टेज कैसे इंपॉर्टेंट है। कुछ सैंपल्स मैंने आपको दिखाने के लिए भी रखे हैं कि कैसे ये सारे फैक्टर्स इफेक्ट करते हैं ड्राई फ्लावर्स के लिए। नाउ मेथड्स ऑफ ड्राइंग, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। देखो कई बार मैं सोचता होता हूँ कि कोई भी रिसर्च हम जब करते हैं हम बोलेंगे कि फ्लावर्स को ड्राई करने लगे, तो एक नॉर्मल पर्सन ये सोचता है तो इसमें कौन सी साइंस है, फूलों को सुखाना ही है। बट ये बड़ी टिपिकल साइंस है, इसमें आपको हर एक चीज का, इवन टेम्परेचर, इवन टाइम ऑफ ड्राइंग, इवन मेथड ऑफ ड्राइंग, ये सारा कुछ स्टैंडर्डाइज करना पड़ता है, तब आपको एक प्रॉपर ड्राई फ्लावर जो है वो मिलता है। अगर प्रॉपर ड्राइंग टेक्निक नहीं है, अगर प्रॉपर टाइमिंग नहीं है, अगर प्रॉपर मेथड नहीं है, अगर प्रॉपर टेम्परेचर नहीं है, तो वो ड्राई फ्लावर्स की क्वालिटी जो है वो ज्यादा अच्छी आपको नहीं मिलेगी। नेक्स्ट है, फर्स्टली जो मेथड हम यूज करते हैं वो है एयर ड्राइंग। तो काफी फ्लावर्स हैं हमारे पास जो अभी हमने एयर ड्राइंग में लगाए हुए हैं, वो भी दिखाएंगे आपको। नेक्स्ट है एम्बेडिंग ड्राइंग। एम्बेडिंग ड्राइंग में हम क्या करते हैं, कुछ मीडिया यूज करते हैं, जैसे सिलिका जेल है, बोरेक्स है, सैंड है, इनके कॉम्बिनेशंस हैं, तो उसको यूज करके हम ड्राइंग करते हैं। नेक्स्ट है सन ड्राइंग। तो सन ड्राइंग में भी हम एम्बेडिंग मेथड भी यूज करते हैं, इवन फुली सन ड्राइंग भी यूज करते हैं। तो कुछ प्लांट्स ऐसे हैं जिनमें हमने कलर को फेड करना होता है या कलर को उड़ाना होता है, तो उसमें हम क्या करते हैं, उनको सन ड्राइंग करते हैं। इवन हॉट एयर ओवन ड्राइंग, सो हॉट एयर जो मेथड है काफी अच्छी क्वालिटी के ड्राई फ्लावर्स प्रोड्यूस करता है। माइक्रोवेव ओवन में ड्राइंग करते हैं, काफी क्विक मेथड है, कुछ में क्वालिटी अच्छी आती है, कुछ फ्लावर्स में ज्यादा अच्छी क्वालिटी हमें इसमें नहीं मिलती है। सो प्रेस ड्राइंग है, प्रेस ड्राइंग में ज्यादातर हम वो फ्लावर्स यूज करते हैं जिनको हमने रेजिन में यूज करना है, जिनको हमने ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स में यूज करना है, जिनको हमने बुक मार्क्स बनाने में यूज करना है। तो इवन जो अच्छे अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उनमें यूज करते हैं। कई बार जो आपके वॉल हैंगिंग्स हैं, इवन मिरर्स हैं, उनके लिए भी हम इसको यूज करते हैं। फ्रीज ड्राइंग मेथड है, इसमें भी काफी क्वालिटी के फ्लावर्स हमें प्रोड्यूस होते हैं। बट जो ऊपर वाले मेथड्स हमने डिस्कस किए हैं ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। फ्रीज ड्राइंग में कई बार कई फ्लावर्स की क्वालिटी हमें अच्छी नहीं मिलती है। नाउ स्पेशल प्रिजर्वेशन टेक्निक्स जैसे ग्लिसरीन ड्राइंग है, स्केल्टनिंग है, तो मैं आपको कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स दिखाऊंगा। मेरे को इवन जहां से ये कॉन्फ्रेंस आप करवा रहे हो देहरादून, वहां विजिट करने का काफी बार मौका मिला, तो काफी अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स वहां के लेडीज बनाती हैं, और काफी अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स मैंने इवन ड्राई फ्लावर्स के देहरादून में ऑब्जर्व किए। आपकी यहाँ एक फ्लावर फेस्टिवल होता है बसंत के बाद, बसंत महोत्सव, तो कई बार मेरे को वहां आने का मौका मिला, तो मैंने वहां इवन लेडीज के बहुत अच्छे क्राफ्ट्स देखे जो हैंडमेड क्राफ्ट्स थे। तो इवन जो कपड़ा होता है, कपड़े में हम बुकरम यूज करते हैं, उसके ऊपर उन्होंने सिलाई करके मतलब ड्राई ग्रासेस से उसके प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए हुए थे। तो काफी अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं वो मार्केट में आ रहे हैं। तो इसमें एक स्केल्टनिंग की बात मैं करने लगा था, तो जो स्केल्टनिंग है इसमें क्या करते हैं, हम लीफ लेके उसका ग्रीन पोर्शन रिमूव कर देते हैं, यानी कि जो हमारे क्लोरोफिल कंटेंट है उसको रिमूव कर देते हैं, तो पीछे एक स्केल्टन बच जाता है। तो हमने उसके फ्लावर्स बनाने शुरू किए, हमने उस पे पेंटिंग्स करनी शुरू की। तो मेरे को आज भी याद है कि जब मैंने उत्तराखंड के अपने ऑनरेबल राज्यपाल जी को ये फोटोग्राफ्स गिफ्ट की, तो उन्होंने मतलब बहुत अदब से उसको माथा टेक के उन फोटोग्राफ्स को जब लिया, तो मेरे अंदर खुशी का एक ठिकाना नहीं था, क्योंकि इतनी रिस्पेक्ट उन्होंने हमारे क्राफ्ट को दी कि उन्होंने उसको इवन जो बसंत महोत्सव था उसमें रिलीज भी किया। तो उसके बाद एक फिर ब्लीचिंग मेथड है, ठीक है, डाइंग करते हैं हम, कुछ फ्लावर्स डाइंग भी की हैं, वो भी मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा। इवन रेजिन एम्बेडिंग है, तो रेजिन के प्रोडक्ट्स भी कुछ आपको दिखाऊंगा कि कैसे कैसे हमने ये बना। नाउ टाइप्स एंड मेथड्स ऑफ ड्राइंग। अब उसमें अगर हम देखें तो नेचुरल डाइज यूज करते हैं, इवन सिंथेटिक डाइज हैं, इवन डिप डाइंग है, इवन स्प्रे डाइंग है, और एब्जॉर्प्शन डाइंग है। उसके बाद ग्लॉस एप्लीकेशंस है। ड्राई फ्लावर प्रोडक्ट्स में ज्यादातर जो हम बनाते हैं, जो सेल में यूज होते हैं, तो उसमें हमारे पास है वॉल हैंगिंग्स हैं, पॉट प्यूरीज हैं, फ्लोरल अरेंजमेंट्स हैं, रेजिन प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, फ्रिज मैग्नेट्स हैं, ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स हैं, बुक मार्क्स हैं, कैंडल्स हैं, इवन ड्रिफ्ट वुड्स हैं, फ्लोरल डाइज हैं, फ्लोरल टीज हैं, फ्लोरल इंस्टेंट स्टिक्स हैं। तो फ्लोरल इंस्टेंट स्टिक्स पे थोड़ा सा मैं फोकस करना चाहूंगा। तो ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिसके बारे में मैं देखता हूं कि अवेयरनेस बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि मैं जितनी भी अगरबत्तियां यूज करते हुए देखता हूं तो उसमें क्या है कि काफी हार्मफुल केमिकल्स यूज हो रहे हैं। इवन या तो पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट यूज हो रहा है, या चारकोल यूज हो रहा है। तो ये सारे हमारे लंग्स के लिए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते हैं। इवन कुछ बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट्स ने भी अभी ड्राई फ्लास्क के इंस्टेंट स्टिक्स बनानी शुरू की, तो वो भी उसमें पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट यूज कर रहे हैं। तो मैं एकदम शॉक था जब मैंने ये सारा कुछ देखा। तो हमने फिर फोकस किया कि क्यों ना फ्लोरल इंस्टेंट स्टिक्स के ऊपर हम काम करें और उसको टोटल हर्बल प्रोडक्ट्स में कन्वर्ट करें। उसमें ना तो पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट हो और ना ही उसमें इवन चारकोल यूज हो। तो उसमें काफी सक्सेस हमें मिली, तो अच्छी अगरबत्तियां हमने बनानी शुरू की। बट थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हमें भी मिली कि अभी भी उसमें 80% बर्निंग है, 20% बर्निंग नहीं हो पा रही है। इसमें एक टॉपिक और था कि फ्लोरल टीज, तो फ्लावर्स की चाय, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अभी रिसेंटली हमने इसके ऊपर एक पेटेंट फाइल किया था और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट से हमारा वो पेटेंट अभी पब्लिश हुआ है, एग्जामिनेशन के अंडर है। तो ये जो चाय हमने तैयार की, तो इसमें ना सिर्फ विटामिन, इवन एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स हैं, और ये जो टी है ये फ्लेवर में, टेस्ट में बहुत अच्छी है। ज्यादातर लोग जो ग्रीन टीज यूज करते हैं उसमें अगर हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं तो उनका मैक्सिमम का आंसर होता है कि इसका टेस्ट अच्छा नहीं है। तो ये फ्लोरल टीज ऐसी नहीं है, इनका टेस्ट बहुत अच्छा है। इवन पीने के लिए टेस्ट काफी अच्छा, इसको हमने नोटिस किया। तो पैकिंग, स्टोरेज एंड केयर फॉर ड्राइंग फ्लावर्स, ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, क्योंकि हमने ड्राई फ्लावर्स तैयार कर लिए है, उसके बाद उसको प्रिजर्व कैसे करना है, उसको हैंडल कैसे करना है, वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। टू इंक्रीजेस द सेल्फ लाइफ ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट्स, ड्राई फ्लावर्स नीड सम स्पेशल केयर ड्यूरिंग हैंडलिंग एंड स्टोरेज बिकॉज दे आर फर्जाइल। तो इनको स्टोर करना, इनको प्रिजर्व करना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। बिफोर फाइनल पैकिंग द मॉइस्चर परसेंटेज ऑफ ड्राई प्रोडक्ट्स आर एंश्योर्ड। तो हमने इसकी सबसे पहले जो मॉइस्चर परसेंटेज है उसको रिड्यूस करना पड़ेगा पैकिंग से पहले। नहीं तो हम क्या ऑब्जर्व करेंगे कि इसमें कुछ डिजीजेस जैसे मोल्ड है तो वो इसमें आ जाएगी। To retain the color and shape for the long time, proper packaging and storage is needed. The box must check for insects frequently to avoid any damage. तो हमें चेक करते रहना पड़ेगा। इवन कुछ चीजें हम यूज भी कर सकते हैं, कुछ नीम के पत्ते यूज कर लेते हैं हम कई बार, इवन नैप्थलीन बॉल्स के यूज कर लेते हैं, तो ये चीजें भी यूज कर सकते हैं। The boxes must check for insect frequently to avoid any damage. To avoid shattering of petals by absorbing moisture, the flowers must be vacuum packed to save them for a long time. To maximize wear and tear, the packaging material gives a protective support during transportation. Dry flowers and products are always stored under the moisture-proof container. Avoid direct sunlight or area with high light intensity to avoid fading of colors. To avoid excess moisture from the product, silica gel pouches are kept at the bottom of the container before final packing. So ये सिलिका जेल भी क्या करता है कि मॉइस्चर को अपने आप में एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है। तो ये कुछ फोटोग्राफ्स हैं जो हमने प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए। तो फर्स्ट फोटोग्राफ्स में आप देख रहे हो कि जो फर्स्ट फोटोग्राफ है उसमें हमने कॉर्न जो है, भुट्टा जो है, उसका कवर यूज किया। वी यूटिलाइज्ड ओनली कॉर्न हस्क फॉर मेकिंग दीज फ्लावर्स। इन नेक्स्ट जो फोटोग्राफ है उसमें आप देख पा रहे हो तो हमने इसमें पाइनस कोन्स को यूज किया। जो थर्ड फोटोग्राफ देख रहे हो इसमें हमने जो पीपल है, फाइकस रिलीजियोसा, तो उसके लीव्स को यूटिलाइज किया है। उसके बाद फोर्थ फोटोग्राफ में फिर हमने कॉर्न हस्क को यूज किया। और फिर जो नेक्स्ट फोटोग्राफ देख रहे हो उसमें कॉर्न हस्क है, इवन कॉर्न की इन्फ्लोरेसेंस है, तो ये यूटिलाइज किया। उसके बाद जो डॉल देख रहे हो आप, ये भी कॉर्न हस्क से बनी हुई है। तो ये टोटल फ्लावर्स अगर आप ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो तो ये सारे टोटल ड्राई फ्लावर्स हैं। तो इसमें काफी इवन ऑर्नामेंटल ग्रासेस हमने यूटिलाइज की हैं। तो ये फोटोग्राफ्स जो नीचे से थर्ड फोटोग्राफ है अगर आप देख पा रहे हो, तो ऑर्नामेंटल ग्रासेस हमने यूज की हैं। तो इसमें लेग्रस है, इवन ब्रीजा है, उसको हम यूटिलाइज करते हैं। और जो लास्ट फोटोग्राफ आप देख रहे हो स्टेटिस फ्लावर है, तो इसको भी हमने ड्राई करके यूटिलाइज किया। सो नेक्स्ट जो है वो फोटोग्राफ अगर आप देख पा रहे हो तो ये पॉट प्यूरीज है। तो पॉट प्यूरीज में बेसिकली हम क्या करते हैं, जो कॉटन हस्क है उसको डाई करके उसको एसेंशियल ऑयल्स में डिप करके उसके हम पॉट प्यूरीज बनाते हैं। तो फर्स्ट फोटोग्राफ में अगर आप देख पा रहे हो तो इसमें इवन कैजोरिना के हमने फ्रूट्स यूज किए हैं। तो ये सारी पॉट प्यूरीज हमारी काफी डिमांड में रहती है। इवन 100 रुपीज के छोटे छोटे पैकेट्स जो है हमारे रूम से यहाँ से सेल हो जाते हैं। और टोटल जो है ये हम वेस्ट से बना रहे हैं ये पॉट प्यूरी। सिर्फ असेंशियल ऑयल्स हम जो है वो अपने परचेज करते हैं, तो उसको यूटिलाइज करते हैं। नेक्स्ट अगर आप ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स देख पा रहे हो तो ये सारे ड्राई फ्लावर्स हैं, हमारे ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स और बुक मार्क्स बने हुए हैं ना। वॉल हैंगिंग्स, तो ये कुछ वॉल हैंगिंग्स है। तो जो फर्स्ट फोटोग्राफ देख रहे हो ये बरगद के रूट से बनी हुई फोटोग्राफ है। और इवन जो सेकंड देख रहे हो ये भी बरगद की रूट से बनी हुई फोटोग्राफ है। और उसके बाद अगर आप लास्ट से सेकंड फोटोग्राफ यानी कि सेकंड फोटोग्राफ देख रहे हो तो ये पीपल के पत्ते को मींस फाइकस रिलीजियोसा के लीफ को हमने स्केल्टनिंग किया, उसके ऊपर ये पेंटिंग हो रही है। तो जो लास्ट आप रेजिन प्रोडक्ट्स देख रहे हो ये सारे हमारे खुद के जो हमने इवन ड्राई किए फ्लावर्स, तो उनको फिर हमने यूटिलाइज किया डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने में। फर्स्ट में अगर आप देख पा रहे हो तो ये जो फोटोग्राफ है ये हमने कोस्टर्स बनाए हैं, उसके बाद बुक मार्क्स हैं, फिर कोस्टर है, फिर की रिंग्स है, इवन ईयर रिंग्स हैं, ये प्रोडक्ट्स बने हैं। और लास्ट जो बात कर रहे थे हम, जो हैंडमेड अगरबत्तीज हैं, तो इसमें हमने पहले मंदिर गुरुद्वारों से ये फ्लावर्स इकट्ठे किए, उसको ड्राई किया, उसके बाद फिर उसका पाउडर बनाया, फिर उसमें कुछ बाइंडर्स यूज किए, उसके बाद उसको स्टिक फॉर्म में या इंस्टेंट कॉर्न्स के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट किया। तो आप देख पा रहे हैं जो बर्निंग है उसमें चल रही है। तो ये टोटल हर्बल थी, इसमें कोई भी पोटाशियम नाइट्रेट और चारकोल हमने यूटिलाइज नहीं किया। और इसके धुएं का कलर भी अगर आप देख रहे हो तो व्हाइट है, ब्लैक नहीं। सो ये कुछ काम थे जो हमने किए इसमें। इवन फ्लोरल टीज में काफी काम अभी चल रहा है। कुछ जो फ्लावर टीज हैं वो हम बना रहे हैं जिसमें डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशंस है। इवन कोशिश हमारी ये भी कर चल रही है कि कुछ जो डिजीजेज हैं उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए भी हम ऐसी टीज बनाएं जो चाहे अगर आप रूटीन में पीते हो तो वो आपको प्रॉब्लम्स ही ना क्रिएट करे। तो ऐसा काम हमारा अभी चल रहा है इस पे। तो कुछ मैं आपको लैब्स विजिट कराता हूँ कि हमारी लैब्स जो हैं उसमें क्या कुछ चल रहा है। इवन कुछ स्टूडेंट्स हैं मेरे, वो भी काम करते हैं यहाँ। तो ये सारा कुछ यहाँ इस लैब में चलता है। तो जस्ट मिनट में आपको ये सारा दिखाता हूँ कि हमारी लैब कैसे काम करती है। मैम मेरे पास अभी टाइम है या मेरा टाइम ओवर हो चुका है, सो दैट मैं आपकी अपनी लास्ट लैब विजिट करवा दूँ।
नो वरी सर, आप शेयर कर सकते हैं।
ओके, जस्ट अ मिनट मैम, आप एक मिनट आया। देखियो विजिबल है उनमें या नहीं। शेयर में रोके, स्टॉप शेयरिंग, रोके पर लैब दिखाएंगे। ओके, तो ये हमारी प्रॉपर लैब है जिसमें हम काम करते हैं। तो फर्स्टली आप देख पा रहे होंगे, ये जो आप पेंटिंग देख रहे हो ये बरगद के ट्री की रूट से बनी हुई है। इवन ये जो पाम वेस्ट है उससे बनी हुई पेंटिंग्स। सो ये सारे इंपोर्टेड ग्रासेस हैं जिनको हम डाई करके यूज करते हैं, जैसे लेग्रस हो गया, ब्रीजा हो गया। तो ये सारे हैं। इवन ये अरेंजमेंट्स आप देख रहे हो, तो ये फ्लावर अरेंजमेंट ड्राई फ्लावर्स के बने हुए हैं। और ये पीपल के पत्ते यानी कि फाइकस रिलीजियोसा के लीव्स हैं जिनसे ये फ्लावर्स बने हैं। तो ये कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, ये इवन कॉर्न हस्क से बने हुए फ्लावर्स हैं। ये सारा कॉर्न हस्क है। ये हमारे अगर हम देखें तो राइस में हमारे ये पैडी में ये वाला वीड आपको ऑब्जर्व होगा, तो उसको जस्ट ड्राई किया हुआ है। इसकी डिमांड काफी रहती है हमारे पास। इवन बाजरा है। और ये वो पेंटिंग्स हैं जिनकी मैं बात कर रहा था, लीफ के ऊपर स्कैटनिंग करके हम ये पेंटिंग्स बनाते हैं। और ये स्टैटिस फ्लावर्स हैं जो हैंग ड्राइंग से हम तैयार करते हैं। तो लास्ट हम बात कर रहे थे कि कौन कौन से मेथड्स हैं। तो ये हमारे पास अभी स्केल्टनिंग चल रही है। तो ये लीव्स की स्केल्टनिंग चल रही है। और इवन हॉट एयर ओवन है, तो इसमें हम ड्राई फ्लावर्स बनाते हैं। तो ये ट्रेज आप देख रहे हो, इसमें एम्बेडेड मीडिया है जिसमें ये फ्लावर्स डाले हुए हैं। तो ये सारे इसमें ड्राई होते हैं। तो फिर हम बात कर रहे थे हैंग ड्राइंग की। तो ये फ्लावर्स हैं जो हैंग ड्राइंग मेथड से हमने ड्राई किए हैं। इवन ये बास्केट्स हैं जो हमारे यहाँ से सेल होती हैं। और ये कॉर्न हस्क की डॉल्स हैं जो हम बनाते हैं। और ये रीत है जो वाइल्ड फ्लावर से हमने बनाई है, जो वाइल्ड हमारे अवेलेबल हैं पंजाब में, तो उससे बनी हुई ये रीत है। तो इन सारे जो हमने अभी ऑब्जर्व किया, तो इस समय में एक टीम है जो वो काम करती है। तो इसमें इस प्रोजेक्ट के जो पीआई हैं वो ये प्रभजोत हैं, प्रभजोत सैनी। और हमारे पास एक वर्कर है पिंकी, वो ये काम करते हैं यहाँ। तो अभी भी देख रहे होंगे कि आप फ्लावर्स बना रहे हैं वो। तो ये सारा दिन हमारे पास ये काम चलता रहता है। इवन कुछ नए प्रोडक्ट्स हैं हमारे पास, टेरेरियम्स हैं, वो बच्चों के बनाए हुए हैं। तो ये सारा काम हमारे पास होता है। मेरे पास स्टूडेंट्स अभी आए हुए हैं, तो इन्होंने भी ये इस पे काम किया है। तो ये सारी लैब हमारी मिलके चलती है। तो इवन मैंने
That is so incredible, sir. Like we truly appreciate जो आप एफर्ट करते हैं और आपने हमें वर्चुअली भी अपनी लैब दिखाई, सर।
थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and taking the time to share your knowledge about processing. You virtually सबको lab दिखाई, the subjects you work on. Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू मैम।
So now moving to the next, we'd like to welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Anamika Das, Associate Professor, Basu Patna. So we are truly fortunate to have her with us today to share his expert insights and involving trends in agriculture. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, Madhvi, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you for extending a warm welcome in the session. And good afternoon to one and all, to all the dignitaries and delegates present in the conference. Today, I'm going to present before you a talk on the topic exploring the potential of bioactive peptides from dairy products. So without wasting much time, I would like to share the presentation. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Is it in full screen mode or do I need to
No,
make
no,
it
ma'am.
full screen? Yes,
You
pardon?
can put it on slideshow, ma'am.
Yeah, it's not being shown in slideshow mode
No, ma'am, no, right now, not.
now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it is in slideshow mode.
It's in slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can continue now.
Hello,
Yes,
Madhvi,
ma'am.
am
You
I
can
audible?
continue. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay, it's in slideshow mode. Everything is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So I extend a hearty welcome to all the delegates and dignitaries, those who are present in the conference. Myself, Dr. Anamika, I'm working as Associate Professor in Department of Dairy Chemistry in Sanjay Gandhi Institute of Dairy Technology, Basu, Patna. So nowadays, we know that we have been consuming a lot of products, lot of functional food, lot of nutraceuticals to enhance our well-being. We are very much concerned about our health. We do so many things. We do exercises. We modify our diet just to remain fit and fine. But then one of the aspect of being fit and fine or remaining fit and fine, we can correlate with the food, and in that context we can take the reference of these bioactive peptides, which we can incorporate in our diet just to minimize the consumption of medicine if we are consuming any. Now, in this particular presentation, we'll cover the whole topic under the following subcontents, wherein we'll cover the health benefit of bioactive peptides. We'll see an overview of the bioactive peptides that are present in dairy products. We'll see how the bioactive peptides are produced from milk proteins and what are the factors that affect the release of these bioactive peptides, and what are the commercial products that are available in the market based on these bioactive peptides. And finally, we'll conclude the presentation. So before I move on, what are bioactive peptides? Now, as the name suggests, bioactive, so they are biologically active. So these are peptides. So peptides, the sequences of amino acids which are inactive within the original protein, but which displays specific properties once they are released by enzymatic hydrolysis. Now, the size of these bioactive peptides ranges from 2 to 20 amino acid residues, and this depends upon their type, nature, and composition. Now, as I told a few minutes back, that previously what we used to do, our diet used to contain sufficient nutrients to prevent deficiencies, and we used to believe that that will give us a good health and prevent all the diseases. But right now, the present scenario says that our diet should not only contribute to equally to the wellness, but also it should prevent the or it should prevent the chronic diseases. So our grandparents' generation, they used to think that consumption of vitamin supplements and calcium and fibers will sufficient for their health. Then our parents' generation believe that no, not only these supplements, but apart from these supplements, we'd also like to take some extra things like broccoli or yogurt, which are not a part of our like conventional diet, but they want to take these extra things to form a good diet, and they used to think that this would contribute to our health. But our generation, they think that not only this, apart from these ingredients, we should also consume some novel ingredients that will boost our health, that will prevent the generation of any type of diseases in our body. And at the same time, if we are consuming any type of medicine, we can minimize the side effects of those medicines, or even we can consume or reduce the consumption of those medicines. Then before we move further, we should know that what are milk proteins, because this is agriculture based this conference. So I'd just like to highlight a few things like milk proteins, as we all know, but still I'll just focus on it or give an overview. That milk protein comprises of two major proteins, or a single one major protein, that is casein, and another protein, that is whey protein. So casein again can be typically categorized into alpha S1 casein, alpha S2 casein, beta casein, kappa casein. And whey proteins can be categorized as alpha lactalbumin, beta lactoglobulin, bovine serum albumin, immunoglobulins, etc. Then one author, McLean, in 2024, he reported that although these milk protein are the sources of bioactive peptides, but there we can say that 36% of these bioactive peptides are produced from beta casein, and alpha S1 casein produces only 15% of these bioactive peptides. And other proteins like lactoferrin, minor proteins, alpha lactalbumin, they contribute lesser as compared to beta casein and alpha S1 casein. So these casein and whey proteins are primarily used for the production of bioactive peptides. Now, this is an overview of different bioactive peptides that we derive from the milk proteins, and they have got different physiological functions. As for example, these caseokinins, phosphopeptides, immunopeptides, casomorphins, these are the bioactive peptides that are derived from alpha S1 casein and beta casein, and they have got different bioactivities depending upon the type of amino acid sequence that we obtain. As for example, caseokinins, they are the ACE inhibitory peptides. Then phosphopeptides, they are the mineral binding peptides. These immunopeptides, casomorphins, caseokinins, they impart immunomodulatory activity in our body. Then isradine, cazocidine, these are antimicrobial peptides. Then cazoxins, they are the opioid antagonistic peptides. So we can see this. There are a lot of peptides which have already been developed, or you can say which have already been validated that these peptides, they impart these health benefits. Now, in details, we'll see like what are the health benefits that are being imparted by these bioactive peptides. So, in a nutshell, we can say that milk protein derived bioactive peptides impart ACE inhibitory properties, antioxidative properties, antimicrobial properties, immunomodulatory properties, mineral binding properties, anti-diabetic properties, anti-obesity properties, hypocholesterolic properties, cytomodulatory properties, and so on and so forth. There are many other activities also which are being imparted by the milk protein derived bioactive peptides. So if we see the details about the antioxidative peptides, as the name suggests, it is antioxidative. That is, it will prevent the process of oxidation. So these peptides, they are responsible for maintenance of antioxidant defense system, and they do so by averting the formation of free radicals, or they scavenge the free radicals and active oxygen species inside our body, which induces the oxidative changes done. And because of these oxidative changes, our body may suffer from cancer or heart disease or stroke. So these peptides are derived both from casein and whey protein. And this these antioxidative peptides can be derived from beta lactoglobulin, and it has been reported that it has got a higher radical scavenging activity as compared to BHA. Now, these antioxidative peptides, they are mainly rich in tryptophan, tyrosine, phenylalanine, cysteine, and methionine. Now, these peptides, they replenish aging-induced loss of defense system against the oxidative stress. They also inhibits lipid peroxidation and acts as direct scavengers of free radicals. And these peptides, they act as agents to chelate transition metal ions that catalyze the generation of radical species. Now, this, as I have already told, that this acts as antioxidative agent, and they are not only derived from the milk proteins, especially from the dairy products. They have been found in a good number or in good quantity in the fermented milk as well. Then coming to mineral binding peptides. These mineral binding peptides binds minerals and increases their bioavailability. There's one of the most prominent mineral binding peptide is CPP. This CPP is nothing but casein-derived phosphorylated peptides, which contain single and multiple phosphoryl residues. And these phosphopeptides are released by enzymatic hydrolysis of alpha, beta, and kappa casein. And they are released by enzymatic hydrolysis. They can be released both in vivo and in vitro. Now, due to the high content of negative charges, these peptides efficiently bind divalent cations and act as barriers for biocarriers for trace elements such as iron, manganese, copper, and selenium. Now, these CPPs, they prevent osteoporosis. They help in recalcification of bones after fracture, and they help during the treatment of rickets. They help to alleviate hypertension and prevent dental caries, and even they help to overcome the magnesium deficiency in pregnancy and old age. They prevent anemia, and even they help in humanization of bovine milk. Then another peptide that can be derived from milk protein is the anti-obesity peptides. Now these peptides, as you know, obesity is a bigger issue nowadays and everybody wants to control their weight because weight is a factor that contributes to other diseases as well. So these peptides, if we are incorporating in our diet or in our supplement, they might help to control the obesity. Now, the satiety effect of this whey protein or these anti-obesity peptides that are derived from this whey protein is mainly due to the high concentration of the amino acid called L-leucine. Then coming to this antimicrobial peptides. Antimicrobial peptides, as we know, it will impart antimicrobial activity. And these are the small proteins of cationic charge, which are involved in host innate immune defense. And these peptides are cationic in nature. They're amphipathic and has got proline and arginine amino acid in higher quantity. And they have broad spectrum of activity, that is, they act against a large number of microorganisms. And these peptides not only have the antimicrobial function, but it also has got immunostimulatory function as well. Then these are some of the antimicrobial peptides that had been obtained from casein proteins by the digestive proteases, and these have been named as like casecidin, isradine, and they have been derived from different casein sources and by using different proteases like chymosin, trypsin, etc. And so these are also again some of the peptides that have been derived using chymotrypsin and trypsin. And then coming to antihypertensive peptides. So angiotensin converting enzyme
Ma'am, there is some network issue, I guess. Your voice is not audible. Ma'am, I guess there is some network issue.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Madhvi, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. That there was a network glitch and Okay, is my slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible. Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Okay, can you just share which slide I had last delivered? Means it was audible to you.
Ma'am, it was about anti-hypertensive peptides.
Yeah, I was continuing with this. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. So, as I told that angiotensin converting enzyme, so it is a powerful vasoconstrictor, and this ACE enzyme, it causes elevation of blood pressure by converting angiotensin 1 to the potent vasoconstrictor angiotensin 2, and it degrades bradykinin, which is a vasodilator peptide. Now, this angiotensin converting enzyme it inhibitory peptides, it blocks the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Now, these ACE inhibitors that are derived from the milk proteins, mainly from the casein, are caseokinins, and that are derived from whey proteins are the lactokinins. Now, then we have antithrombotic peptides. Now, these antithrombotic peptides, they reduce or inhibit the formation of blood clots. The casein-macropeptide is a peptide that is derived from kappa casein when milk is coagulated with renin enzyme, and this functions by inhibiting the aggregation of blood platelets. Now, caseoplatelin is another peptide derived from kappa casein having antithrombotic properties. Now, there are also hypocholesterolic properties, peptides which are derived from the milk proteins, and these peptides have higher bile acid binding capacity, which can inhibit the reabsorption of bile acid in the ileum, whereby it can decrease the blood cholesterol level. Novel peptide that can be derived from the milk protein, that is beta-lactoglobin, is tryptic hydrolysate, which exhibits hypocholesteremic effect. Now, this is just schematic diagram of how the ACE inhibitory peptides it works. It's simply it blocks over here. It stops the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and angiotensin 2 is vasoconstrictor, which constricts our blood vessels and may result in cardiovascular issues. So, what ACE inhibitory peptide does is it stops the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and at the same time it prevents the degradation of bradykinin, which is a potent vasodilator. So we require vasodilator, that is bradykinin, and its degradation is stopped by the ACE inhibitory peptides. Then we have opioid peptides. So these opioid peptides, and opioid, we all know that it is a chemical just like morphine, and it has got many pharmacological effects. It gives a sleeping-like effect and soothes our nervous system. So these opioids are defined as peptides which have an affinity for the opioid receptor and exhibits opioid-like effects. So in all, endogenous and exogenous opioid peptides, the common structural features of these peptides are the presence of the tyrosine residue. And these opioid peptides are like exorphine, casein 6, and lactoferrin B. All these are opioid peptides. Then we have lactorphins from alpha-lactalbumin and beta-lactoglobin, which acts as opioid agonists, whereas caseoxins, they act as opioid antagonists. Then how these bioactive peptides are produced from the milk proteins. So there are three methods by which these bioactive peptides are produced. One is like when you consume the milk or like milk products. So there the production of bioactive peptides occurs in vitro in our stomach when we when the food is subjected to digestion by via variety of protease enzymes. So therein bioactive peptides are generated. Other two methods are in vitro methods, wherein like hydrolysis takes place in presence of enzymes, and another method is fermentation, wherein also the microbial enzymes are responsible for liberating these bioactive peptides. So these enzymes, they generate the bioactive peptides by breaking the peptides at specific places, and they generate amino acid sequence with specific amino acids, and mainly pepsin, trypsin, and chymotrypsin are used for the production of bioactive peptides, and other proteolytic enzymes that are used for in vitro production of bioactive peptides include alkylase, thermolysin, subtilisin, and these enzymes, they help in releasing the peptides from casein as well as whey protein, and this results in generation of the different peptides that we discussed in the last slides. So these are some of the bioactive peptides that are released by different enzymes like pepsin, trypsin, and like they act on proteins like alpha-lactalbumin, beta-lactoglobulin, and they have got activity of S inhibitory or opioid activity, antimicrobial activity. Okay, now this is another just schematic diagram of how the microorganisms, they generate the peptides during fermentation, or when they act on the casein molecules or the whey proteins, how they generate the peptides. So these are some of the these peptide sequences and their bioactivity, and the precursor protein on which the different microorganism they act, and the bioactive what are their biological activities inside our physiological system, that has also been displayed in this slide. Then what are the factors that affect the production of bioactive peptides? So there are certain factors that might influence the production or manufacturing of these bioactive peptides. As for example, the amino acid sequence of the proteins substrate, then what type of pre-treatment we are giving, and like which protein is specific to which enzyme, then what hydrolysis condition we are subjecting the proteins to, then enzyme inactivation, if we subject the proteins to different conditions, whether the enzyme will be able to act or not, then how we are isolating and purifying those peptides, that is also a part wherein we have to look into separate or purify the peptides to enable them to fortify or supplement in different food products. Then just let us take an overview about the bioactive peptides that are derived from the dairy products. So there are this sour milk, from sour milk, different workers have isolated the different peptides, and they have reported that like sour milk, from sour milk they have hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
My slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just a minute, let me come to that. Okay, from sour milk, they have isolated the peptides that might inhibit or exhibit certain properties, as for example, which have got these have been named as phosphopeptides. So these peptides often exhibit the mineral binding properties. Then we have antihypertensive peptides from sour milk. We have got beta casomorphin, that is another opioid peptide that have been derived from the fermented milk. Then yogurt, from yogurt and the ghee and quark, we have S inhibitory peptides. From yogurt, we can have antihypertensive, antithrombotic peptide, and that's why there are so many reports that yogurt can reduce the symptoms of cardiovascular diseases, or it can have an anti-hypertensive activity. It's just because of this micro or macromolecules or the biomolecules, or this type of biomolecules impart this property. Then we have another product, that's cheese. There are so many variety of cheese, and in cheese there are so many variety of bioactive peptides that are generated either by microbial action, not only by microbial action, but also by the enzymatic hydrolysis of casein. So there are so many cheese like Parmesan, cheddar, Edam, mozzarella, and in maximum of these cheeses we find that they have got ACE inhibitory activity or immunomodulatory activity or anti-hypertensive activity. So if we consume cheese either in the form of pizza or like we are consuming in the form of other sandwiches, so therein we are automatically consuming these bioactive peptides. So there is then we have an overview about the different dairy products or the food products wherein, or supplements rather we can say, wherein these bioactive peptides have been incorporated and they have been commercially marketed in the global market. And like under the brand name of Calpis, basically this is a sour milk wherein we have got the bioactive peptides derived from beta casein and kappa casein, and they have validated the claim that this Calpis, if you consume this Calpis product, you can go for reduction of blood pressure. So in most of the commercial dairy products like Calpis, Evolution, Biozet, they are responsible for reducing the blood pressure. And like then we have Lacticum, another product which will help us in reduction of stress effects. And then we have Festivo. They have haven't gone for any claiming for any health effects, but yes, they have isolated some of the bioactive peptides, and definitely they will have some physiological benefit. Then we have Capolac, an ingredient which is CPP, and it helps in mineral absorption. So these are the pictures of some of the commercially available products. Coming to the conclusion part. So milk proteins, known for their high nutritional qualities, based basically because of their essential amino acid composition, and they exhibit a wide range of bioactivities, and the potential health benefits of milk protein derived peptides have been a subject of growing commercial interest, and these can be utilized for fortifying the functional products, and we can promote them. And these also have got the potential of reducing the risk of chronic diseases and boosting the natural immune protection by consuming these products. And so there are a lot of scientific interest, and we should encourage the use of this product if we want to minimize the side effects of the medicines, as well as if we want to minimize the consumption of medicines. And as we have seen all throughout the slides, that these bioactive peptides, they impart a lot of health benefits, like they have got antioxidative property, they have got anti-thrombotic property, they have got anti-hypertensive property, as well as they can also impart immunomodulatory properties. Thank you for your patience hearing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful address. Like, we truly appreciate the valuable perspective you have shared with us today. Thank you so much, and we are grateful for your contribution to this conference, ma'am. Thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. Okay, thank you.
So thank you all for your participants. I hope you are enjoying the event so far. Now we will begin with this program after the lunch break. So I request all the participants join to the respective technical session for the overall poster presentation. And please make sure to check the schedule and head to your assigned sessions. After the short break, we will reconvene for the announcement of the award categories. And stay tuned as we will celebrate the outstanding contribution from this event. Thank you and enjoy the session.